Welcome to the first ever edition of The Real Way on Saturday with your host, JD. So, like I said, Saturdays are going to be different. Let's jump into fixing the government. This is how I should fix the government. Let's just control alt delete that bitch. Anyways, so the government's fucked. That's one thing everybody can agree on. To the government, it's always something. Rich versus poor, black versus white, woman versus man. It is always something to keep. Now, not to keep the wealthy. No, to keep Congress in control. That's it. How do you maintain power? Keep the people squabbling against themselves, not against the government. So, four main focuses. The justice system, government, and politics. Brain fart. That's two. I had four. I should have wrote these down. Time out. Hey, government, laws, immigration. Duh. Well, there was another one. If I think of it, I'll come to it. So, let's start with the justice system. Each state does their own laws. That's good. So that state needs to come up with a justice department I know they have a justice department, but a special department just to people to go back through that state's laws. Update the ones that need to be updated and get rid of the ones that don't mean shit. Like some laws, it's not okay to have sex unless it's missionary. Like some stupid shit like that. Just have a special group of people for each state go through and change these. Now, laws in that state need to be upheld. Because one of the messed up things is people like to say, well, they did the same crime I did in that state and they got a lesser punishment. That is the law. It is the judge in that state. It is that maybe there's circumstances behind it. Maybe it's your fifth offense. So, there need to be levels. Robbery needs to be in 3 degrees. I know it is, but just you need to restart everything. And so for minor things like I went and stole a candy bar or some stupid shit like that. So a candy bar costs like $2. So I should have to pay that back. I should have to pay that back either by giving that establishment the $2 or doing $2 worth of work. I think that'll help. And then the more serious crimes are like, okay, stole $1,000 worth of stuff. Well, now you're going to pay for that $1,000 worth of stuff with your time in the jail cell. Like a timeout. Time out. You need a timeout. And then we'll just go from there. But each state needs to have their own, and they just... Because what is happening now is they are fixing some stuff, but they're just still leaving crap in there. Like, nobody's going back through and going, oh, that's stupid, let's take it out. Like, a group of people, a justice commission, just to go back through the laws and update what needs to be updated because language has changed, or take out stupid shit that don't need to be there. I think that all states should legalize marijuana. All of it. I think it should be 21 just like alcohol, because just like alcohol, it does alter your state of being. Okay? I don't want to hear that bullshit about, oh, it don't hurt anything. No, it don't physically hurt you. You're right. But however, you wouldn't smoke marijuana if it didn't change your state of fucking being. Like, this shit drives me nuts. Well, it's harmless. Yeah, it is harmless. But it also changes your state of being. So you shouldn't be fucking driving. You also shouldn't be texting and driving. But, again, all it takes is... see, I'm off on a tangent. Because you're in a fucking 3-ton vehicle. And all it takes is your split decision to be altered by 0.5 seconds. And then everything's fucked. So I'm just saying, it is, but it does alter your state of being. If it did not alter your state of being, nobody would take it. So, I think we need to wipe it across the board. We just do it. Take that out of the state's hands. That's a stupid charge. Let's do it smart. And I think all states are coming around. It's just taking them a long ass time to do it. So, now let's go into some stuff that's going to tie you in other stuff with politicians. Let's go into fucking bribes. I'm so tired of this white judge versus this white judge. Well, this white judge let this white guy go, and this white judge, sentenced this black guy. Well, why didn't you just look at this white judge's fucking past? Why don't you just take him and go, okay, this is where he was racist. Or... we don't do it because all it proves is this is where he took fucking money. He said that white dude just happens to have money. So, in the case of bribes, any bribery found, I have a new punishment. You lose every fucking thing. Everything you own is going to be seized by the government, depending on what level. State, your stuff will be seized by the state, liquidated, and the money put back into funds for that state. Education, some type of charity, you're liquid, all of it. You get caught taking a bribe, you get caught making a bribe, both sides, fuck it. All of it. We'll call it the, I don't know, some kind of cool name. I keep thinking treasure. We'll call it the pirate law. Anyways, it don't matter what name it is. Federal, again, liquidate all your shit. It gets put into the federal debt. It gets put into the federal spending. And then, of course, a charity. Yes, your shit should be given to a charity, you jackass. Bribing is messed up. No more bribing. That should be a law. So that is one. Next, illegal immigration. I'm only going to deal with the Mexican-American border. 2 ways to deal with this, okay? One way is not popular at all. And the other way is my real solution. So, first way to get this done and over with. United States acquires Mexico. Fucking acquires Mexico. All of it. Either by force or by buying it. This does one thing. Makes everybody in Mexico a United States citizen. Now, then, done. Now the United States takes over Mexico, fixes the shit, and now we have all this more extra room. But, no war. So that's one way. Second way is we open up a base, start using the fucking space in the desert. We open up communities in the desert. We have the immigrations come and work their own community. Have them establish jobs, and if they want to, they have to pay. They have to pay the government, just like state. They have to pay their taxes to the state, and they have to pay it. But have them work it, so that they can sit there. They have somewhere to stay until and then do everything the illegal way, because there's millions of people waiting in line. That's the thing. We have people in this country who just want to let everybody in and skip the fucking line. Like, there are real people trying their asses off right now in line. But we have to stop to deal with the people that just came. All right, let's take a movie theater. Everybody bought a ticket, standing in line waiting to get in. Some jackass opens up the back door and lets other people in. Now them ticket ushers in that line have to go deal with them. Now that line stalled even longer for people who actually done it. So, stop. We have to filter these people in. I don't care if that makes it judgmental or what the fuck that you think it makes. We have to. We cannot just let anybody in this country. I love how people say, well, blah, blah, blah. Well, shut up. Because if the Indians had this system, we wouldn't have this fucking country. Enough. Like, they should have. They'd still be around. And if you think that just because we don't live in an age where people don't take shit over anymore, well, they do. It's just over there. It's not in your face. that shit won't happen. That the day that we let everybody in and drop our guard, that somebody won't put a foot up our ass. And then you all be bitching and wishing that Donald Trump was president again. So, let's have an area where we can, no fence, or no what? Not fence. Yes, wall. But let's have areas, let's not have them looking like fucking prisons. Come on. We have fucking contractors and architects. We got the minds to make that shit look more fucking suitable than prison. Then the media won't have shit. You can show them this, oh, fancy. It doesn't take that much more to make it look pretty. Put a fucking queer eye for the straight guy on there. He'll fix it. He'll make that shit looking fucking snazzy. For half the cost. So, don't make them look like fucking prisons like they do now. It doesn't send a good message. So, we have them there. We have them farming their own shit and growing their own. Have them do their community. And then, while they're doing this, do the process to become a United States citizen. It's simple. Eventually, Mexico will either knock it off or we'll have to go punch them in the face. That is immigration. I know, it could be super more complicated. Super more is a fucking thing now. Super complicated than that. Let's talk about the government itself. Okay? Now, enough of this crap. We need to redo it. So, I'm not going to erase everything. We will have presidents of the United States. We'll have 3. Each one will be represented by each fucking party. We'll have a Democrat, a Republican, and a third party. Third party cannot be associated with Democrats or Republicans whatsoever. So, I'd be third party. This is how we vote. Okay? No more of this electoral college. No more of this. We're going to combine the two, popular vote and electoral college. I understand both arguments. Well, he wasn't popular enough. Well, Californians shouldn't speak for the whole fucking United States. True. However, there have been facts. There's been a president who has won, 2 now if you count Donald Trump, because technically he did not win the popular vote. He won the electoral college. There's been another president that won the electoral college without even coming close to the popular vote. That's because the electoral college can vote whoever the fuck they want. It doesn't matter who the people pick. They can vote wherever they want. Because see, what it's supposed to be is that a Democrat wins a state, so the electoral college should vote Democrat. That's not set in stone. That does not have to happen. And it has happened once before, where that didn't happen. So, let's combine the two. Mad science. Every state gets their own vote. You vote on either your Democratic Party, your Republican, or your third party. Whoever you pick, that is your pick to lead you. Okay? So, instead of having this in 2 parts, the Democrats vote on their people, and then they send up, and then it's like 1v1. let's skip that part. Let's skip the 1v1. Let's have the people vote. So the Democratic office sends their best people forward and goes, here's these 4 people. Now it's up to you. So each state will vote. Each state will vote. Whoever wins that state gets one vote. The person, after all 50 states are done, with the most votes, each state giving 1 vote per person, wins. And there shouldn't be a tie. If there is, then we'll take the 2 people who have tied, and then we'll have the states vote on them. So like 1 Republican wins, 1 Democrat wins, but these 2 third-party people tie. Okay? Now they go, and we can make it even better. We have the 2 of them and be voted, one of them be voted by the other 2. Oh no, that's not going to work. We could do another vote, because it's still not as long as the election process in the first place. Since we're cutting out the whole 1v1. Okay? Speaking about elections, you talk bad about the other opponent, any of the opponents. You put out fake news. You put out their business from when they were in a diaper and they ate the turd from the fucking cat box. I don't give a shit what it is. If your campaign doesn't focus on what you're doing for the United States, then you're out. That's it. You're out. You're done. Get the fuck out. Try again next year. I'm not going to have... It's been years of fucking badgering each other. That's enough. The United States doesn't want to vote on who's the lesser of the 2 evils. Fuck that shit. You speak badly about your opponent? Out. You should be focusing on your opponent. You should be focusing on you. So, that takes care of that. Congress. Again, we're going to do Congress. No more 2 houses. Just 1. You can call it the Senate House. I don't give a shit. Just 1. And I know that states need to be represented by the government. That's fine. They need a budgets, they need resources. That's fine. We can still do that. But just like the presidency, everybody gets 1 of each. 1 seat for Democrats, 1 seat for Republicans, and 1 seat for third party. That way the 3 of them can argue among what needed be best. And if the 3 of them can't agree, or majority rules, which is why you have 3, then it goes back to that state and the people vote on it. I want this to be all about the people. So, that. And at any time, Congress or the presidencies can make laws. And if they do, those laws have to be overseen by the other government to keep them in check. The other branch of the government, still keeping the 3 branches. And if that passes, then the laws become public knowledge, and if the people do not like it, the people can veto it. People can veto it. Again, enough of this crap. This government is supposed to be for the people, run by the people. It's not. So, if people do not like it, and enough a petition goes around with enough votes on it, or enough signature on it, then it becomes a people vote on it, and we go from there. If majority of the people like it, bam, it's in. Speaking about letting the people know everything, no more blacking out fucking documents. No more. I don't give a shit if it says you had sex with my mother 2 days ago. I don't care. You black that shit out. Don't. Again, this government is for the fucking people. Stop hiding shit from the people. I don't care if aliens exist and you think this planet is gonna go in the shit show. Which will probably, like some hybrid fucking dragon sitting somewhere and this fucking earth just explodes. But that is up to us to decide if we want to freak the fuck out or not. No more. Let me know who shot JFK, motherfuckers. I'm serious. No more blacking shit out. You black shit out, you're done. It's it's treason. You're lying to the people. That is fucking treason. Stop doing it. Now, the judicial branch, again, will have each party, each president will put up their candidates for judicial, for the Supreme Court. Each one will have 3 members in that Supreme Court, so we'll still have 9. I think 9's a good number. And I think the Supreme Court, when it's not deciding on what is constitutional or not, should go back into the Constitution and look shit over. And change stuff. Not erase stuff. Change it. Because this... And I'm strictly talking about amendments. I'm strictly talking about freedom of speech and the right to bear arms. I'm going to talk about these because people want to take these away because they don't agree with it. The right to bear arms is so this government will never turn on its people. That's the purpose. That's it. We had the sneak in weapon. We were outgunned and outmatched, and we still won. This to keep the people safe from its own government. And I do not understand why people want to take that away who claim that fucking Trump is a racist Nazi. If he's a racist Nazi, don't you want your fucking gun? That doesn't make any sense. You're so fucking terrified of him and him taking over this country, then don't you want to defend yourself? Words aren't going to work. Which brings me to freedom of speech. That stuff can't be changed either. Because I know the first thing they're going there and go, hate speech. No. All speech is covered under freedom of speech. That's another thing that pisses me off. Just remember one of the... Sorry. Time out. I have to write this down before I forget. Hate speech. Alright. That's for next Saturday. Anyways, so hate speech is covered. I'll talk about it more on next Saturday, but that's it. But you can go in there and restrict. I think that gun laws should be a federal thing. You have to go through the federal government to get your license anyways. I think it should be a federal thing. It should all be one mandated for every state. The states can just get over it. Because if you look at it, Chicago is one of the most crime-centered states, one of the highest murder rates. They have the strictest gun laws. The more you tell people they can't, the more they do. That's why telling them they couldn't smoke marijuana was a stupid thing in the first fucking place. You can't tell people what to do. You really can't. They'll do it anyways. So, let's just have a federal law across the board. And just because a gun looks scary does not mean it kills more than a gun that looks less scary. If you're going to talk about guns, you need to be educated. That is another thing. If you want any official office, the presidency, the Supreme Court is going to have the highest test. The presidency and Congress being the next. You have to take a fucking test. A common sense test. If you don't know what you were doing, you can't run. You can't serve office. You have to take a test, a mandated test to hold a federal work for the federal government. You have to take a test to be a fucking postman. If you don't have to take one to be president, get out of here. Come on. Use your brains. Speaking on that, I think that needs to be changed too. Not letting anybody run. That is not the point of this. But if you have been a United States citizen for 35 plus years, you should be able to run. because it's all about the American people. So if you lived here for 35 years, you've been a tax-paying citizen for 35 years. That's another thing I'll get to. You should be able to run. You should be able to let the United States public decide. Second, you're running for office, and we go back and you ain't paid your fucking taxes, you're not running for office. Okay? If we go back and you did shady shit, you can't run for office. It should be harder to run for presidency for me than me to get a fucking gun. Anyways, cannot believe smart people are in charge. I can. Because that's how they get you. And no, I'm not some conspiracy thinking that the government's being run by NASA. Get the fuck out of here. Simple. We should be able to trust the government. We could trust the government if it's ran by the people. Now, that being said, we have to have a fucking baseline. Everybody's not going to be okay with it. Get over it. We cannot please everybody. Get over it. Move on to something more positive. Other than bitching that Trump is not your fucking president. Who cares? In a couple years, he won't. And nothing in this fucking... Nothing will have dramatically changed. Anyways. So there's got to be a baseline and understanding that the needs and wants of the many outweigh the needs and wants of you. That's why we have votes. That's why we do things. That's why I'm doing it this way. So, Democrats will no longer be able to bitch because there's a Republican in office. Because they'll have a Democrat they picked in office. Republicans will no longer bitch because of a Democrat in office. Because they will have a representation of them in office. And then third party. People who are split down the middle. Who have conservative ideas. Who have liberal ideas. Who have right-wing Nazi ideas. I don't fucking know. But some people that are in the middle. Like me, I'd be a perfect candidate. But I'm not being president. Ever! But if you pick somebody down the middle and you have the three of them, you too. Got quiet. That would be perfect. Another thing for running as president, you must run with your vice president. Everybody must run with their vice president. See, I was thinking about doing this two ways. If a Democrat won, then he had to have a Republican vice president. That may work unless they try to kill one another. So, when you run, you must run with your vice president. You must run with the person who's going to back you. I think that's fair enough. Wow, I fixed the government in about, what's that, 20 minutes? I can't see from here. I can't believe I had three. I have three on here, or 4 points of, we can talk about that's it. Economic system. It sucks ass. It only sucks ass because people interpret the economic system. Taxes should happen. And at the end of the year, it should be a percentage. Now, people make more money will pay higher percentage, but it should not be pay a higher percentage, but the percentage rate should not go up. You should not punish people for making money. Okay? No more charity write-offs. Get rid of it. No more. If you want to do charity, good. Do it for charity. Don't do it because you can write it off. No more. People also have to understand that a minimum wage is not the minimum requirements to live. That's not what that means. I always thought it did. But it's not. That's the minimum amount of money that establishment has to fucking pay you. That's it. That's the minimum amount of money the establishment has to pay. That is not. It is not the minimum amount of money I survive in a 1 bedroom. So we can do one of two things. I really like these. One, we can change the minimum wage for each state to mean the means for one person to live off of. That is I heard that the best system is in thirds. You should be able to pay. You should be able to pay your rent with your rent and have 2/3 of your money for the month left over. Because you got that makes sense. Rent, bills. Oh, I can't see. Rent, bills, and food to survive. Or personal, rainy, whatever. Personal. We'll call it personal because really, in bills, food should be in bills. When I do our monthly bills, food's in bills because it's the expense that you use all the time on a regular basis. So we should change that. So let's say that a 1 bedroom apartment costs $500. I know, right? Where the hell am I living at? Gas for a 1 person costs $50. I'm gonna have to get paper up. Costs $50 for gas. That sounds about right. So rent $500. That should be 1/3. Then your utilities, gas and electric. Most places don't charge water unless you actually are in a home. So let's not do that. Gas and water. Let's say that utilities cost about $100. Okay? That should be 1/3. And then the rest. That means cable, personal, whatever you got. That should be 1/3. So if rent's $500, it should be 1/3. You should be making. Now I'm going to count 40 hours. That doesn't help part-time. But if you're really trying to survive, you shouldn't be part-time. There we go. $1,500 a month. Wow, that's low. $1,500. Your rent should be the most expensive thing a month. Nothing should exceed your rent. Your utilities should not exceed your rent, and your personal should not. Like if you're just spending on your budget. $1,500. Now let's see if I can do the math without my calculator. 1,500 hours, and there's what? 40 times 4, 1,660 hours. Crapola. So it'd be less than $10 an hour. It'd be 9. 9 or 950. 9 or 950. 54, 5, 9, 14. Ooh, that was close. Let's say 950. So 0, 0, 0, 3, 5, 8. About 950. Anyways, so you have a correct team of people do that. And that should be the minimum wage, should be the minimum amount one person needs to survive. Now, that being said, if we stick to this minimum wage and the cost of living needs to stop going up. This is the problem we're having. Minimum wage goes up, cost of living goes up. Because people can do that. Oh, they got more money now we can charge them. That has to be a state law. That has to be a state thing. See, and it's a little tricky because fixed pricing doesn't help. No, maybe. I don't know, it's kind of sounding a little commie. Huh. Anyways. So enough. No more. If you are charging... See, this has got to be like a fucking... Like a... Kind of like an understanding. Everything is at what it is now. Okay? So we fix the minimum wage, whatever it's at. Things stay the fucking same where they're at. Walmart does not all of a sudden jack their fucking prices of their great value by 50 cents all of a sudden. No. In order for this to truly work, cost of living cannot go up. We have fixed minimum wage. Cost of living has to be, see, and I want to say fixed. Cost of living has to be fixed. That makes sense to me. To have, like, if you're going to sell your Jordans, but then that doesn't work because inflation in the market. So, we have to have a understanding with each other. No more. Because you can live off of what you got. You can live off the, you're making good money right now. The bigger departments are making good money right now. So, we fix minimum cost, and then we got it. Now, here's the thing. Because we can't, that's right. No, fix nothing. I just realized something. It is not the industries. It is consumers. Consumers need to be smart enough to knock that shit off. Consumers need to be smart enough to live inside their fucking budget. But we as Americans cannot live inside our budget. We just don't fucking do it. And then we bitch because we're broke. Oh, I gotta get them new fucking Jordans. No. Can you afford them? Are they in the budget? Are you spending more on the Jordans than you are on your fucking rent? If so, put the fucking things down. Walk away. Buy them at tax time. We got a little extra money. Then you do your monthly, but you know what I mean? And that's how I do things. Everything gets paid first. Then we have extra. If we have extra, awesome. Now, other people tell you put that in the rainy day fund, but I don't. I should. But I have this theory that if you have a bunch in your rainy day fund and you fucking die, you can't. It just sits there now. And I'm also at the point where I don't want to leave my kids a bunch of fucking money where they aren't working. That's not what I teach them. I teach them to maintain themselves. That's why they have chores. They have to do the rooms. They have to do outside stuff. As soon as we can budget paying them for that, then I will. But again, it all has to stay in your memes. And we keep blaming Nike for making $500 shoes. Okay, Nike can make a $500 shoe. If we don't buy it, Nike doesn't profit. I hear this all the time in the video game industry. All the fucking time. Microtransactions. Everybody's bitching about, oh my god. And I get it. With the things, it pisses me off in gamer if I'm playing. I don't even play games that are pay to win. Except for Magic Online. Because I grind the shit out of it and I'm not stopping playing Magic. But Magic's always been that way, period. Even paper. That's not the point. So I stay away from games that you have to spend money in order to win. No, I don't have the budget for that. If I had the budget for that, shit, I'll play it. No, I'm talking about like Call of Duty. where it is strictly cosmetic. It is. It's just fucking cosmetic. So if Call of Duty wants to charge it, let them. Call of Duty will stop charging it if people stop fucking buying it. It'll go away. Trust me. If it's failing, it'll go away, but it's making money. You have big YouTubers opening fucking crates on YouTube to make views. The moment that consumers decide everything. We had this discussion. We had this big discussion. Me and John versus my wife Chelsea, because of the Baptist Bakery getting shit for not wanting to make the gay cake. Okay, you don't need to cry to the federal government to have them come down to smack little mama pa's hand for being fucking... What? For being what their religion taught them to be? That's a lot of tolerant on your side. Intolerance doesn't help intolerance. That doesn't make any sense. It's not what Martin Luther King Jr. had in mind. He didn't say hate with more hate. No, it doesn't work. So what you do is you go, okay, you want to make my cake? Fuck you. I'll go take my money somewhere else. Because there's gotta be 1,000 fucking bakeries. Everybody opens a fucking cake shop. We're fat. We all open cake shops. Go somewhere else. You go somewhere else and you leave, in this day of social media, you leave that other place a bad review and you let consumers decide if that place should be tanked or not. You don't have the federal government come in and smack somebody's hand like, your brother and sister just ate the last piece of fucking cake and you gotta go tell mom and dad. Stop it. Grow the fuck up. Anyway, and if consumers were smart enough, oh my god, one of the things that bugs me about a mutual person of ours is that he has to bitch about every fucking thing, and shit drives me nuts. Oh, it's another Chevy commercial. This is why I don't have cable, because I don't want to pay for commercials, and when I'm already paying the cable. Then don't. I'm doing it because I want to. My fucking money. And that's how it should be. Everything should be decided by consumers, not the fucking government. Consumers. And if we had smart consumers, they would know. But we don't. We get rich people who want to show off they're rich, so they buy Gucci. Fuck it, let them. Their money. I don't want to go out and buy a bunch of fucking things because Paris fucking Hilton bought it. That is not smart consuming. Is a consumer? Consume? That's not good consuming. It is eating junk food, but that's just the point. That's not good consuming. That's not good consuming at all. You have a brain. You can think. You don't need all that shit. If you want it, go for it. But don't bitch because you're fucking broke. Anyways, so, X-nay on the fixed crap. You have to have let's make the minimum wage. Let's do the math. Make it for each state. How much a person needs to live off of on a one-bedroom apartment. Okay? Now, let's teach consumers to be smarter. We can do that. We can have in high school a consumers class. What teaches you that, okay, this landlord's charging $650 for a one bedroom. You keep digging. You can find one at $5. Then you can go to that landlord. Let's say you don't want to live in the $5. Say you want to live in the $650. You can go to that landlord and negotiate. If you telling him that, I'm going over here, and you don't let him in on the fact that him or her, and on the fact that you really want that place, you'll have it. Consumers just need to outsmart the sellers. Buyers need to be smarter than the sellers. Because that's all it is. Sellers are just smart. They know that if they get you in somewhere and you make noises, that they got you. Bam. All right, cool. Now I'm going to charge twice for the deposit because they said, this made me remember a joke. It was Eddie Murphy that said that guys get away with shit with women the moment they hear them go, ooh. That was fucking horrible. But the moment they hear that, then they change on your ass. Because I got you. Anyway, that's all sellers are doing. The moment they can read a person. People usually wear their expressions on their face. Anyways. So, smarter consumers, and minimum wage actually means minimum amount. And if we're smarter consumers, then we don't need to buy that fucking product that just went up $5. You tell them kiss our ass. Because there's always an alternative to that thing. Everybody else is trying to sell that thing. It's not just one thing trying to sell that thing. It's fucking... it is many things trying to sell that thing. I've done it. I have eBay and Amazon. If I will look at the prices on both for the same thing, I'll go, great. I can only buy this on Amazon. No, I can't. I can buy this where the fuck I want. Shit, I can go on Facebook and see if anybody's selling it on there. But that's what I'm saying. We need to be better. We need to be better buyers, consumers. We need to be better. So I teach my kids the art of deals, the art of negotiation. John does it all the fucking time. He's fucking awesome at it. But he's smart. He is a smart consumer. That's how we fix this crap. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below or on Messenger. With that being said, this has been the first ever James Will Never Steer You Away Saturday. That being said, JD, out.